One of Major League Soccer's most raucous stadiums sits dormant, allowing the stars of tomorrow to get their chance to shine in what could be their future home. We're in downtown Los Angeles at BMO Stadium to close out the Friday slate of Match Week 22. MLS Next Pro is after dark as LAFC 2 takes on Colorado Rapids 2. Hello, welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. The two teams entering tonight are trending in very different directions. LAFC are unbeaten in 5 of their last 6, sitting above the playoff line with their sights set on hosting postseason matches here in LA. Rapids 2, however, have free-fallen since their finals run last season, dropping to dead last in the conference. With seemingly no end to this nightmarish season, they'll look to maybe turn some things around against an LAFC squad who are making 4 changes since their PK win over North Texas. Cabral Carter is back in goal. He's unbeaten across his first 6 starts of the season. The back 4 remains the same, where Juliana Whitchurch has the most starts of the 4, but is the lone rookie. Torres and Nava are in the midfield. This is Torres' first start in only 3 appearances in 2026, as Mahalic joins Kosakov and Machuca in the forward group. He has a team lead 6 goals, which should be a help for Fabian Sandoval and LAFC. As for Rapids 2, 4 changes of their own. Brian Dowd is back in goal after his debut was made last time out against Tacoma Defiance. De Cato is in 17 of 19 starts throughout this season. Siegler and Garcia are in the midfield. They join De La Fuente. Neither of them have more than 7 starts this year, and Heredia makes his first start in only 3 appearances, and he is alongside the multi-year Rapids, Garcia and Jameson. Two familiar teams in an unfamiliar place. We are in the first team stadium, BMO Stadium, in a closed-door contest between LAFC 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. Lots of history between these two, but not so much this year, as this is the one and only time that these two will meet in 2026, with the different conditions both at Rawlinson Stadium in USC and their new home for the rest of the season, Titan Stadium at Cal State Fullerton. They make their way here at the first team stadium, where many of these LAFC Academy products and second team members look to make that jump into the first team and be at this glorious venue of Major League Soccer sometime down the line. But for today, it is all about taking care of business. Already above the playoff line are LAFC, where they do have 8 more matches after today. But it is not just about staying above the playoff line. It is about advancing within it. They are 4 points behind Ventura County, their fellow LA rival, who are in the top 4. So as of now, it would be Ventura County, the final of the 4 playoff hosts, a place where LAFC, I'm sure, would want to get into. While Colorado Rapids 2, the tailspin has persisted throughout the entire 2026 season, only 2 wins so far. LAFC will start off left to right with the ball. They are in the all-black, going in the burgundy and white. Going right to left will be Colorado Rapids 2. As Ryan Lee and our entire MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us here at BMO Stadium in downtown LA, where for LA, it is a matter of hosting once they conclude not only today's match, but the 8 games that follow. And for Colorado, just looking to recoup whatever is left of their season. This is game 21 of 28 for the Rapids. And after a dismal start, they'll want to do anything they can to, at the very least, end on a positive note. De La Fuente, the turnover, allows the turnaround. Rogelio Rodriguez with the reach. Heredia was involved as well at the top of the box, but it's back towards LA. In the 79-degree day, very sunny, no chance of precipitation or really wind today either. Heredia pokes it ahead, couldn't get through as he had Josh Santiago intervening. And this allows Cabral Carter to come out of his net for the first time in this match. 6 appearances for Cabral Carter, 3 wins, 3 draws for him, as you have Machuca streaking through back in the middle. A quick touch is well wide, but a good try by Lisandro Torres, who makes his first start in his first Next Pro season. Second consecutive start for Brian Dowd between the pipes ever since he was acquired by Rapids 2 only about 2 weeks ago after spending the early portion of the season with FC Cincinnati, the former number 6 overall draft pick of Chicago Fire back in 2023. Tumultuous journey for him, but he makes his way back in Colorado where he is the trusted number 1 for today. Parker Henry, the USA U15 international, is the backup for Rapids. It's the turnover. Torres up the middle. Bodies all over. Comes back towards Rapids. Garcia retreats. Decoto along the far side. He's got Jamison. Jamison feathers it across, only to meet LA players on the other end. Machuca assisting back. Santiago sends it down. Kosakov. He coughs it up. De La Fuente signed his MLS Next Pro contract last night. Was the 17-year-old De La Fuente from the academy. Here goes Tommy Mihalic. Mihalic, one of the usual starters in this LA lineup. Also frequently will wear the captain's armband like he does so today. And has pretty much been one of those key offensive aces on that left side pretty much all season for Fabian Sandoval. Wide of Mihalic, this will go back towards Colorado. Garcia with black jerseys all over, he'll retreat. Rapids and Eric Boucher. This will draw the first whistle of the match. Coach Boucher along the bench for Rapids 2 has been there since 2018, has been a part of the academy since that 2017-2018 run. It has been a part of the Next Pro coaching staff ever since they joined this league when it came about in 2022. 129 matches now for Coach Boucher, one away from 50 total wins as the head coach of Rapids 2. Real up and down several years in this league for the Rapids. Bottom 3 team in the Western Conference in the inaugural Next Pro season before making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals in 23. They were dead last in the West in 2024 to make it to the Next Pro Finals last year. And unfortunately, that back and forth trend continues where they do sit last in the West as of now. But the only, or at least one of the few silver linings for Colorado is they do have some ground on the overall Next Pro wooden spoon that is currently being held by Inter Miami 2. But Colorado do still have the fewest wins in the West while having the most losses in the conference as well. 4 points separate Colorado and Miami, by the way. Cameron, where's the captain's armband today? Colorado also coming off of back-to-back losses. 2-1 loss last time out versus Tacoma Defiance. Their only goal came on a penalty. Turned over, Whitchurch brings the attack for Kosakov. Wanted to lead it for Mihalic. Settled down for Decoto. And LA putting on the pressure. Deep throw. Couldn't make its way towards Jacob Machuca. Cameron looking for an escape. Bodies all over. Jacob Machuca takes it back. Had eyes for Torres, didn't make its way there, so it will be Christian Diaz to retreat. Second stint with LAFC is Christian Diaz. He spent his first couple of pro seasons here before a quick stint with Carolina Core for the first half of the 2024 season before inevitably returning back to LAFC. And that's the first foul called against Colorado Rapids. Irina Petranuk is our head official. Alexei Medvedev is one of the two officials alongside Blanca Rodriguez. Austin Cozy is the fourth official. They'll be in yellow today. Still there for LA. Torres got out of grapple. Nava up the middle. LA can't do any good out of it, so it'll be Dow to send it deep. Heredia entangled with Josh Santiago. And it was inevitably delayed, but the foul on Rogelio Garcia will draw the whistle eventually. Kaplan forced back, entangled with Jamison. This will draw the whistle against Colorado. Similar to what we mentioned in the open, this LAFC team are unbeaten in 5 of their last 6, but a lot of them have come via penalty, those results. Of those 6, 3 of those games ended in a draw after regulation. Only 2 regulation wins in that bunch, including the last time out against North Texas, where they actually squandered a 2-goal lead that was accrued earlier in the match from what can only be categorized as mental errors and self-inflicted wounds for Coach Sandoval's side. Those mental mistakes were really the cause of both of those goals allowed. According to Coach Sandoval, you had a turnover in the defensive box, and then you had a penalty in second half stoppage time, which allowed North Texas to convert and tie things up at the death. The good news for LA was they did eventually get that second point, but it did force them to at least analyze what they had to do as a team in order to just close that one out. But at the end of the day, they stuck in there, competed the full 90, and even everything beyond that as well. One thing Coach Sandoval did make very clear to us is that there's not necessarily a situation where you can win or lose the league in a singular game, but it does most certainly slow down your progress when you do give up points and give up results due to your own errors. A lot of good so far for Coach Fabian Sandoval, a top 5 unit in the West since he was hired in February. So far, it's been ping-ponging back and forth. It does make its way to De La Fuente up the gut. Widens to Jamison. Jamison takes on Kaplan. Jamison, centering feed, ricocheted away. Follow-up try is well over. You got to appreciate the attempt, though, early on by Colorado Rapids. You have the follow-up try from deep by Luis Garcia after all sorts of deflections were coming about inside of the box. But eventually, Rapids are unable to do good on their end. That should register as Colorado's first shot attempt of the match. Only the lone attempt very early on from LA, but that was well off frame. A lot of what Eric Boucher's been trying to emphasize is staying in there, as does Jamison off the turnover. Jamison on a break and just misses. After the turnover by LA, Bryce Jamison was all by himself. Had Cabral Carter outstretched and couldn't convert. Loads of experience, though, in the front for the 20-year-old Bryce Jamison. 118 matches across his entire pro career, having spent a little bit of time in the USL Championship with Orange County. And the Atlanta native has been so far troublesome for the defense of LA. Josh Santiago to the center, Kosakov. Stretched out, couldn't make the play, so it's return for the Rapids. Decoto. And Whitchurch slammed that in the stands. Probably didn't need to, but it's back in play for Jamison. Follow up to the outside, Heredia. Out of range for him, so this does eventually make its way back to LAFC. No score in the opening quarter hour. These are not two teams who will necessarily score at will by any means. But at least for LAFC, a team that are very aggressive off the counter, who can most certainly do their damage and create their chances. Jabari Decoto on the far end. Holds back, waits for help. De La Fuente back and forth with Decoto. Leads the way for Jamison. Chip shot, header, just missed. Nice work for Edgar Heredia. 3 appearances since he made his debut on the 11th against North Texas, only 3 weeks or so ago. For a start, aiming for that first goal, just couldn't get it in frame. Especially with how the interworkings of MLS Next Pro can be. A lot of the emphasis of development of these players for the first team has been a large part of the goal for Eric Boucher. And a lot of the development has come from a byproduct of the competitiveness and how much you're willing to fight for it. So far, Rapids have been much in control, but it'll be back in LA's favor. Mahalish should take the long throw. Mahalic to cradle. Not sure where that was going to, but it's back for Rogelio Garcia. and Whitchurch will be called back for the foul. This portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, the official bank of LAFC. Special edition of MLS Next Pro on the West Coast. Probably one of the very few, if not the only time we'll be here at the First Team Stadium, BMO Stadium in downtown Los Angeles. Spent about the first 10 matches of the season over at USC and Rawlinson Stadium. There are 3 more home matches after this for the remainder of the season. And all those 3 matches will be played at the previous regular home venue of this team over at Cal State Fullerton Titan Stadium, where they actually bounced this game's location around a couple times. It was supposed to be at Rawlinson, then it got held out to Titan Stadium. The field conditions at Titan Stadium weren't ready yet, so they got pushed here to BMO Stadium, and that doesn't just include the final 3 home games, including 2 in August and 1 in September, but could be the potential home venue if LAFC can close the 4-point gap between them and Ventura County, who are currently the 4th seed in the West. Mihalic, a little too aggressive, will draw the whistle. You can expect a lot of whistles in these matches. These two will draw a lot of fouls. Colorado top 3 in that category. LAFC top 8. Sebastian Nava takes it back for LA. Torres widens. Mihalic. Machuca back in the middle. And that forces Kosakov to scramble back. No one in white in the vicinity. Back to LA. Machuca, the assistance on the outside, and LA will simply retreat as we approach the 20-minute mark. Some of the regulars on the second team for Colorado Rapids are actually up with the first team because of lack of availability of the respective first-teamers, who themselves are outside of the playoff chase in Major League Soccer. Dowd sends that one straight to the stands. And one thing that's true of both of these teams is that the first teams and the second teams are separated. Rapids' first team is back in Colorado. LAFC's headed north of the border in a potential first overall clash in the West against Vancouver Whitecaps. What a play by Dakota. Jameson still with it. Returns for Dakota, forcing Kaplan to scramble back. They let it fly. Rogelio Garcia. Edge of the box, lets it go, and it's held on by Cabral Carter. Kaplan forcing Mihalic to burst out, and simply slapped out by Vincent Rinaldi, the 19-year-old academy product. Mihalic, too short of Machuca. Nava creates pressure. Instead, it's Cameron who actually had to temporarily go to the sideline because one of his boots popped on him. Zion Williamson style. Lisandro Torres for Mihalic. Back in. Couldn't reach Nava. And that'll be Garcia to ground. It's been a lot of Colorado control so far in this match. Even though the possession has gone LAFC's side, Colorado, when they get their chances, they get upfield quick and they get on the attacking end with speed. Already 4 attempts towards net, but 1 actually forced the hand of Cabral Carter, as that one rolls into the hands of Cabral Carter. However, the head-to-head between these two is dead at 500. The one and only time these two will meet in the year 2026. However, the last 3 have gone to LA. 2 in regulation, 1 was in penalties, if you count that. Leading the way for Siegler, but he's offside. When talking to Fabian Sandoval, he really credited how far this team has come since that opening PK win against Tacoma Defiance all the way back in the first week of March. Really talked about how the defense has really cleaned up big time, and even though the offense has had its moments and has been inconsistent, a little bit streaky at times, at the very least, one thing that they know they can do is that they can find a groove and they can really work on it when everything starts clicking on all cylinders. Just finding ways to continue to be dangerous around the goal and to snuff anything out of their own defensive end. Although they're middle of the pack, both in goals allowed and goals scored, they have been able to find ways to make it work no matter where they are and what the situation is. Whether if it's hanging on to leads, coming back late, forcing things into PKs. They have 7 draws so far this year. They just have a way about them. Some of that could also just be the overall culture that's been developed from way back when for LAFC, when Steve Cherundolo was a part of the first team squad, and that similar culture has been trickled down to Mark Dos Santos, the current head coach of the first team. And actually a much different tale compared to 2025, where they were second to last in the Western Conference. Deep ball, aiming for Garcia. Nice job from Diaz to force it back to Carter. We haven't seen Carter in action in about 2 weeks. Machuca escapes into the middle, blocked. Sent down by the Rapids. Whitchurch at center. Colorado's undoing this season has pretty much been from the get-go. We talked about back and forth between relatively successful seasons and a little bit of the opposite. And a lot of that actually comes off the rip when the season starts in March, and this season was no different. Turned over into the middle. Torres from deep, but it's held off by Dowd. Turned over, Mahalic went off of him on the attempted clearance. Gotta check in on Tommy Mahalic, especially if it's a bloody nose or, God forbid, a potential concussion situation, which I highly doubt, but you never know. But a nice job by Charlie Harper to dissipate any further damage for the former second rounder back in 2025. Of his 40 next pro appearances, 20 of them have come this season for the ex-UNC Tar Heel. And this deep drop, what seemingly appeared to be playing with fire, does eventually go out of play, as we still have nothing to speak of as we approach the half an hour. No cards, no goals. Only about a half dozen shot attempts in totality. Dakota outside, Jamison centers, bobbled around for a goal kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by DoorDash, exclusive on-demand delivery partner of LAFC. And we might have a situation here with Rogelio Garcia as well, similar to what Mahalic dealt with on the other end. Third-year man of Colorado, Rogelio Garcia. Already having so much experience at only 18 years old is the center forward, Rogelio Garcia. And it's already garnered him great results so far, having previously been called up to the Mexico U17 squad. Santiago ahead. That forces the hand of Cameron. Final 15 minutes of the first half, zeros on the board. Looking to lead, Machuca. Nice slide made by Rinaldi. It will force a throw. Back in the middle to Carlo Guerra. Retreats towards Juliana Whitchurch, the rookie from Princeton. Drafted as a late first rounder in this past year's draft after what can only be described as a dominant defensive unit with Princeton, where he was not only a two-time first-team Ivy, a two-time Ivy League champion, reigning our Princeton. Whitchurch, a large part of the defensive unit that allowed for that. In fact, the only time that Princeton allowed multiple goals in their season last year, they got eliminated from the NCAAs. Just showed how special that Princeton group really was in 2025, and Whitchurch and LAFC have continued to be a part of that here, where they are top 5, potentially on the cusp of a top 4 seed in the Western Conference of Next Pro. 4 points entering the night, chasing Ventura County. Diaz cuts off Garcia, returns to Carter. Try from deep, gets blocked, follow up. Luis Garcia. Leading for Jamison, but Whitchurch is there first. Kosakov. The turnover falls back for Nava, leading for Mihalic. Tommy Mihalic dancing through, he scores! Tommy Mihalic is back in business once again. His team leads 7 goals on the season and the first for LAFC. LAFC just knows how to work on those dangerous left wing attackers. Mihalic dancing through, slams the break with a stutter step. It forces Dowd on the dive, and that allows Mihalic to slot it into the bottom corner. And LAFC have struck first. Mihalic scored the first goal of the season back in March against Tacoma Defiance, and he scored the most recent. Has been the #1 offensive contributor for each last 2 seasons. His first goal since the beginning of May. And I'm sure that's a much needed goal for Tommy Mihalic, who has not had a lot of goal contributions since that May 10th date against Real Monarchs. But I'm sure that might have taken a monkey off of his back for the team's leading goal scorer, Mihalic. Does LA have another one? Nava in the middle, Rinaldi gives us our first corner of tonight's match, going to LAFC. Sebastian Nava to take the match's opening corner. And we will go back to back. Nava, by the way, credited with the assist on the initial Mihalic goal at the 33rd. Served in again, more lift. Went through the barrage of bodies. The follow-up is blocked. Kaplan again. Kaplan to chip to the hands of Dowd. Ten minutes remain in the opening half. Guerra pestering the Rapids defense. Side step there by Charlie Harper to open up room for Dakota. The only other match in the 10 o'clock window is the other LA team, Ventura County, who LAFC are actively trying to chase in the table to potentially host VCFC, the final of the hosting seeds. They are in 4th with 4 points of ground to make up our LAFC. And that is still the case because VCFC lead at the moment. Gotta love this time of the year. Final third of the season. This is match 20 of 28 for LA. This is match 21 of 28 for Colorado Rapids. We're talking final third, when the playoff chase starts to get real. And at least in the West could get really interesting. Jamison, far side, Dakota. Jamison chips it. Carter gets there before Mihalic, or gets there before Heredia, pardon. Josh Santiago holds up play in his 25th start of his MLS Next Pro tenure, 4 years deep, but his 10th this year. Kaplan leads the charge. To Carlo Guerra. Near side, elevated, well high. Nice attempt made by Josh Santiago, still yet to get a goal in those 4 seasons of Next Pro play. Maybe some more on the way for the right back, the academy product. Has received his call-ups at times with the first team of LAFC, but has yet to make an appearance. Jamison hits the gas, gets it back in space where it's Garcia, but turned over to Mihalic. Pushing it ahead, Charlie Kosakov. Kosakov waits for help. Takes it himself and just misses. Oh, that had all sorts of gas, but just inches off frame. This looked like a surefire goal for Charlie Kosakov. Had Harper and Rinaldi dancing through, had the space, just couldn't get it inside of the frame. Dowd was reaching, but just not quite there. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ford. Get out, Kenny. 1-0 to the home side, LAFC. Tommy Mihalic from Sebastian Nava in the 33rd. And for Sebastian Nava, that actually puts him into a brand new career high. Confirmed that that's his 6th goal contribution. He's at 5. In the middle, Jamison leads it, wanted Heredia, but couldn't get it on the reception. That career high 5 goal contributions for Sebastian Nava actually happened last year, where Nava was second on the team in minutes played. And he contributes once again. And maybe some more danger for LAFC in the final 4 minutes and change, depending on stoppage time, of course. Colorado Rapids have only recouped a pair of draws when allowing the first goal, something they've dealt with a dozen times this year, conceding first. Dowd got there before Kosakov could, and anything to prevent the breakaway from Charlie Kosakov. A strong rookie campaign for him. 5 goals across 19 matches and now 16 starts. LAFC top 5 in the West. Colorado Rapids dead last in the conference. MLS Next Pro match week 22. 1 of 2 games in the Friday slate in the final 10 p.m. window. Good to know that even though it is technically an empty BMO Stadium, the presence of the 3252 is still very much there. especially for these next pro guys and what they need to do to make that next jump with Mark Dos Santos' side. Same goes with Colorado Rapids and what their first team could potentially become. Potentially have some of the guys of the Rapids second team staying home, where they will host Austin tomorrow. That's for Colorado's first team. As for LA's first team, they're up north to play Vancouver for what is likely a battle for the #1 overall seed in the Western Conference. And Vancouver will have to play that match tomorrow without Sebastian Berhalter, who went to the EFL Championships in Middleborough. And that's going to be a big hit for the Whitecaps, but all benefit goes to LAFC, especially if they could potentially have both teams make the playoffs. Too high and wide of Rogelio Garcia. Nava got the assist, leads the way for Kostakov. Kostakov looks for help. Guerra works to his left. Mihalic scored the first goal. Centered for Guerra. Back from Machuca, wanted to redirect. Machuca again. Top of the area. Machuca. He's been dangerous, hasn't gotten really any attempts though, as they recycle with Whitchurch and Diaz. Josh Santiago got dumped. Rapids take their time. Cameron harassed to a whistle with an extra minute on the board. Sandoval just wants his guys to understand what it's like to deliver in these types of moments. Playoff chase, first team stadium, and what that can entail for their futures going forward. Maybe one last chance for Colorado before the end of the half. Jamison works on the outside, leading it for Dakota. Kaplan draped all over. Jamison. Likely the final attack of the first half. Dakota leads it for Jamison. Gets across, couldn't get the ricochet. LA will clear, and that ends the first half of play when LAFC take the 1-0 lead into the dressing room. It might be an empty stadium, it might be closed doors, but LAFC, in typical Los Angeles fashion, have put on a show where they lead 1-0 at the half. Coming up at the break, a couple of high flyers in Texas. We'll have a deep dive on them, plus scores, schedules throughout August, and halftime highlights when we come back.
Can't rush in like a roulette.
Back in LA, LAFC lead Colorado Rapids 1-2 at the halftime break. We make our way to Houston as our player profile is one of the young up-and-coming midfielders, Matthew Arana.
My name is Matthew Arana. I play for Houston Dynamo and I play attacking midfielder.
Born and raised in Rocheron, Texas, Houston Dynamo homegrown midfielder Matthew Arana is proud to represent the Bayou City.
Matthew Arana, goalkeeper at the mercy of the finish.
Arana picks it up, 2 defenders in front of him, and stings the back post.
I feel really great. I was born and raised there. No one would ever thought a kid from Rocheron would be pro at 15 years old. And I feel amazing to be able to represent Houston where I'm from.
Arana joined the Dynamo Academy at 11 from his local club Rise SC and quickly climbed the ranks.
I was playing like a year up already. I was already used to it, but it was like a different level still because there was other kids I never knew that came to this team and they were all really good, so I started off a little bit slow, but I started getting used to it and then I went up the ranks.
From Houston, getting the first Dream Academy. At 15 years, 5 months, 24 days of age, the youngest first-team signing in club history. 15!
I felt amazing. I was ready. I was praying, hoping my name would get called and I could step on the field. When I got there, we did the warm-ups and stuff like that. And I was warming up and we had 1 sub left and I was the last one. I was like, hopefully my name gets called. And when I went in, honestly, it's a feeling I can't explain how I felt, but it was amazing. And playing against a player like Son, that was I never thought I would watch him. When I was younger, I never thought we'd play against him. It was really beautiful.
As Arana developed through the academy, his next step with Dynamo Dos continues to push his game forward.
Arana likes what he sees. Oh my goodness!
It helps me a lot, get minutes in. And obviously this team is still high level. There's a high level of the whole league, and it helps me get minutes so I could prepare for when my time comes with the first team.
He has some really unique qualities to his game that are tough to teach and not many players have. His ability to protect the ball, to be deceptive, to dribble out of situations.
I think the level is just high. And every day you gotta be consistent if you want to get minutes. You gotta work hard. It's tough because I'm like a young player, but I think I'm getting used to the level and hopefully I could get more minutes in soon.
I love Matthew. He's one of my really close friends. We went through the academy together. We've been with each other to a really young age, and playing on the field with him is amazing. He's a really good player, obviously. If all I have to do is pass him the ball, and he'll get us to the other side of the field, dribbling through players.
His performances in his hometown have opened the door for Arana to represent Mexico at the youth level.
2 years ago, like March, they sent my Dynamo an email and told me that they were gonna invite me to a camp, and I didn't believe it. I was like, it felt amazing. It means a lot to me representing my roots, where I'm from, and my family, and it's a great experience over there. I got number 10 the first time. I was like, it felt beautiful experience for me. When I went over there, I was a little nervous. That was my first time going to Mexico, but the coaches and the players were all really nice, and it felt like a family as soon as I got there.
Through it all, he hopes to make his family proud after all they've done to get him here.
A lot of sacrifices, taking me to all the far tournaments before, because I can't drive yet. They take me here every morning early, and yeah, I really appreciate what they do for me.
So my name is Edouard Nice. I'm from Belgium. I'm 21 years old, playing offensive midfielder for North Texas SC. Started playing for my hometown, Royal Dutini Sport. There's not a lot of people in my hometown. It's not really like a sport town or anything like that. It's just like a village, like a small village club. I played there for like 5 years. Yeah, that's where I started playing soccer. Coming from semi-pro back home, never won any trophy, never did anything, and then going to Northeast and just, talking with the coach before joining them. He was talking about trophy, winning a national championship, and that's what I wanted. That's why I joined them, and the first year we lost in the semi-final, and we came up close, losing 0 games, losing 1 game, and it was the game in the semi-final. And then the year we came back, we won it all. So first big trophy for the college as well, first national championship, and it meant a lot to me. Yeah.
FC Dallas selects number 306 Edward Miss from University of Illinois.
No, it was crazy. I mean, I was sitting with my whole family on the couch in my house, and even my best friend from back home, and I just wanted to hear my name, you know. Thought that was the moment for me, and it happened. So I was really happy. And one of my goals coming to America as well was getting drafted, as well as going Division 1. And just that happening was like surreal. I couldn't believe it in a sense, because you know, going from hometown club, Village, playing 6 years there, then playing semi-professional, you don't expect yourself 3 years later to get called in the MLS Super Draft and signing professional for FC Dallas. For this season, I would say, yeah, I want to be obviously the MVP of the league. That would be a good goal of mine. You know, I mean, everything possible, you know, like winning the Golden Boot, everything. Like, but at the end of the day, I just want to win a trophy with North Texas. I know they won one in 2024, and I want to win one again, you know. I want to give my teammates the best like effort from me on the field, and just like they can look up to me and be like, yeah, this guy is like trying his hardest, and we want to work for him at the same time and just help the team winning trophies.
Back in LA, 1-0 at the break for LAFC 2, as they have the upper hand on Colorado Rapids 2. As we've been mentioning all game long, this is the final game in the Friday slate of Match Week 22. This is back at the conclusion of Match Week 21. As we mentioned earlier, Colorado Rapids 2, they lost to Tacoma on the road. And a whole lot of other shakeups within the Western Conference as well, especially when you look at the top of the table. You have teams like Houston Dynamo trying to hang on, and especially trying to catch up against Austin for a potential race in the #1 seed there, where Portland Timbers also got the win over Real Monarchs, where Timbers have actually a pretty comfortable lead, at least to host. Timbers only 4 points out of Austin, who currently occupy the #1 seed. 2 points behind them are Dynamo, 2 points behind them are Portland, before there's a sizable gap with VCFC and LAFC right behind in the remainder of the home seeds in MLS Next Pro's Western Conference. We take a look ahead, 4 games in the Saturday slate. Tacoma will host Vancouver, at least that's in the purposes of the Western Conference specifically. And a relatively short slate on Sunday, only 4 listed matches. San Jose will host Austin, where Austin will have to hold up against a San Jose team who are a singular point outside of the top 8 in the playoffs. St. Louis and Real Monarchs. You always know that St. Louis is going to be dangerous. They're only 1 point clear of the final playoff slot. Real Monarchs within reach, 3 points of 8th place Minnesota as things stand. And we took a look ahead, we took a look back, but let's take a look at what's happened in this match through 45 plus. Colorado actually had a lot of good chances to open up the half. Luis Garcia from outside the box tried to slam it through, but just missed. And after a giveaway by LAFC, Bryce Jamison, edge of the box, couldn't beat Cabral Carter. And Tommy Mahalic, the captain for LAFC, he would do things himself, a little bit of trickery. Actually looks very much like his first team equivalent. Very similar move that Denny Bouanga might pull off, but this was the try from Charlie Kosakov, and it looked like that was a line drive into the back of the net, but instead it hit the end boards instead. That's everything that's gone on throughout halftime and throughout this match, second half. Coming up at BMO when we return.
be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Yeah. Boys hear sentiment. Flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best. Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions. Trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Second half upcoming in downtown Los Angeles. LAFC 1-0 lead on Colorado Rapids 2, where it has been a tale of two teams entering BMO Stadium on this Friday evening. LAFC proving they are exactly what they are, a playoff-ready team who want to take that next step into potentially hosting a game that wouldn't be here at BMO, as this match at the First Team Stadium is a one-off, but it could help open the eyes and open the aspirations of these athletes going forward to make their way into the top team for Marc Dos Santos and the first team. Many of these guys have received that call-up before, and many of them I'm sure will want to get that again. As for Colorado Rapids 2, back and forth have been their season since joining MLS Next Pro in 2022. This year is no different. After being the Western Conference representative in the Next Pro final, they are trailing the entirety of the Western Conference entering the evening, and things have actually been pretty even, all things considered. But you do have that one goal differential. Six shots to 5, 2 on target to 1, both favoring LAFC. And that one extra shot on target is the difference maker. Tommy Mihalic in the 33rd minute. The assistance from Sebastian Nava. For Mihalic, that increases his team lead 6 goals on the year. For Sebastian Nava, that provides a brand new career high 6 goal contributions. We get ready for the second half. LAFC, all black, right to left. They will go in. The white will be Colorado Rapids, left to right, as we are back for the second half here at BMO Stadium. LAFC 2, Colorado Rapids 2, MLS Next Pro After Dark in match week 22. Ryan Lee and the rest of our MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us here in the heart of Los Angeles, where only 2 teams are in action in this 10 o'clock slate. And respectively, the 2 teams from this city are indeed the ones ahead between Ventura County and LAFC. Only the 1 goal so far for LA, but they have been dead at 500 when scoring the opener. 2 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws when LAFC get the opening goal. Jonathan De La Fuente cuts back. Was actually credited recently by the Rapids organization for signing his Next Pro contract from the academy level. This was officially announced as of yesterday for The 17-year-old Jonathan De La Fuente, they credited his versatility, his impact on both sides of the ball, especially from Brian Crookham, the player personnel director. Jamison outside, well wide. All sorts of trouble for Whitchurch. Does keep things in LA's half. And DeCarlo Guerra with the reach-in will give Colorado a free kick. Looking at about 35 meters out. For Rapids 2 side, who look to turn things around, their only goal against Tacoma came on a PK. Only one shot on target in the first 45 for the Rapids. Edgar Heredia to set up shop. Heredia curls it. Touch back. Quick swing. We'll take a glance for a Colorado corner, their first of the half. Only 2 corners in the opening 45, both of them to LAFC. And in doing so, is actually both on this end of the pitch. It'll curl out. Kosakov got the touch outside the box. Dakota spun back inside. Kaplan got a clip before it made its way to Rinaldi, but couldn't keep it in play. This will stay with Colorado Rapids. Jabari Dakota, first-year pro, third rounder from this past year's draft from Xavier, gets the toss in. Back and forth he goes with De La Fuente. They'll retreat back towards center. Halich grappled, whistled, and this likely is the first yellow card of the match. This should be. Only 5 minutes into the half, first yellow card of the match drawn out by Irina Petranok. Alexei Medvedev, Blanca Rodriguez, Austin Cozy round out the officiating crew in yellow. It is Jabari Dakota who gets the yellow card. Machuca centers, has Guerra out of reach of Kaplan. Something that's been much improved in this second half is just the overall play of Colorado. Especially when talking about the details and the execution within them for Eric Boucher's side. How they have gotten beat at times throughout the season because they just haven't been able to really win some of those mental battles. Or maybe they might be a little bit timid at times or second guessing how building that confidence and reducing that hesitation is just a day over day thing, something that gets built on week in, week out. Just the situational awareness and the kind of the overall soccer IQ part of it all. Just a very typical nature of this league where no two teams year over year are ever really alike. This will draw the yellow card on LAFC, where Coach Sandoval actually mentioned a lot of similar things about his squad. The learning curve of playing in this league, finding positives day in and day out. Just sticking with it for full 90s. Two minutes after Dakota gets the first yellow card of the match for Colorado, DeCarlo Guerra gets one on the other end for LAFC. Harper forced back to Dowd. Guerra, the turnover, couldn't get past Garcia. Flipped out, Dakota with room. Wanted to lead it towards Jameson, but this forces the hands of Cabral Carter. It's been a whole lot of good for LAFC this year. Currently first team, second in the West. Second team, top 5 in the West. Will the first team actually have a chance to claim the top seed in the conference in Major League Soccer, tied with Vancouver Whitecaps entering the weekend where they'll actually play the Caps on Saturday. And they'll play a Caps team. They'll be shorthanded, relatively speaking, for the remainder of the season without Sebastian Berhalter going to the EFL Championships Middlesbrough. And that pretty much plays a lot of the advantage LAFC's way after having a CONCACAF Champions Cup appearance in the semifinals where they eventually lost to Toluca on aggregate. But a whole lot trending upward for LAFC. And despite tough goings for both of Rapid's two teams, they are still alive in the US Open Cup. Rapid's second team are dead last, 14th place in the Western Conference here in Next Pro. The first team is 13th of 15 in Major League Soccer. Coming off of a loss, playing an Austin team who Colorado could mathematically beat based on the fact that Austin are one of the two teams beneath Colorado in MLS's table. Turnover by Mahalic. Kosakov starts the attack. Nava on an assist, took a clip. Mahalic, right towards Dowd. Another try for Tommy Mahalic. The first shot on target he had of the evening went to the back of the net. That time it was right up the gut for Brian Dowd. Coming off of his Rapids debut last time out against Tacoma. Started off the season playing 5 matches with Cincinnati's second team. Jonathan De La Fuente leads for Jameson, cuts back into the middle. Heredia couldn't untangle it, but it's back for Dakota. Rapids still operate. Cameron. Back to Cameron. Looks for options. Rapids have stayed in this game, but have not made anything work so far, as that's cut off. Nicely done by Whitchurch. Kozakov tangled up. Eventually free from the Rapids. Crossed in, header, and a great save by Carter. Only the second shot on goal for Rapids 2. And what a way to get Bryce Jamieson involved once again. He's been the primary offensive spark plug for this Rapids 2 side. That's his third attempt of the evening, his first on frame. And that's big for a guy like Bryce Jamieson, who has had 2 exceptional seasons. A career high 5 goals in 2024, followed that up last year with a career high 5 assists. Only 2 goals this season so far. Up the middle for De La Fuente. Gets around Whitchurch. Still in a foot race, but the free kick will go to Colorado. Yellow card displayed towards Juliana Whitchurch. First time that Whitchurch has been booked all season, believe it or not. And he's had a lot of play time too, 15 starts of 19, including today. Pushed ahead for Jamieson. De La Fuente gets it back to him. Still De La Fuente. Approaching the hour. Dakota on the outside, back in. The ricochet goes right towards Cabral Carter. You had a man down with a misstep on the Los Angeles defense, and that allowed a nice little one-touch tap, but it fell right to the hands of Carter. Kaplan looks for an escape. At the hour, still 1-0 for LAFC. Tommy Mahalic from Sebastian Nava on the 33rd. Coach Sandoval talked about how much Mahalic has been trying to embrace the role as a captain, not just in his example in years past, but a little more vocally this season. Really bearing that responsibility upon him. And has done so well. Top offensive contributor, at least in goal scoring for each of the last 2 seasons. De La Fuente. For Jamieson, curls it across. Nice block made by Diaz. Kaplan outlets it for Torres. And LA will finish the rest of the way. This portion of the match is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente, the official team physicians of LAFC. An hour in, 30 to go here at BMO Stadium. LAFC and Colorado Rapids 2, opening day of match week 22. As Ryan Lee and the rest of our MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. Whether you are a half an hour from midnight on the East Coast or well in the 8 p.m. mark local, we thank you for joining us all the way through. We're even though today was indeed a closed-door match, we love to see that the presence of the 3252 never really escapes this place. Whether it's LAFC or Angel City, the NWSL, or this specialty match for LAFC second team because of the unusable field conditions of Titan Stadium over at Cal State Fullerton, where they will actually play the remainder of their home matches. That forced a quick reaction from Carter with Jamison bearing down. And Lisandro Torres will win a whistle right at the center circle. His first start since making his next pro debut on June the 7th in Austin. A 4-year member now of LAFC's academy program. He's expected to continue his tenure with LAFC through 2028 is Lisandro Torres, the 16-year-old. Starting to brew for LAFC. Machuca couldn't get the center because it went off of the defender for the first corner of the second half to LAFC. So it is Lisandro Torres who will go off. His first start will conclude 63 minutes in. And you have Liam Lambert who will be the replacement. Couple of first-year pros in exchange for one another. Lambert, the 18-year-old, only his 8th appearance. And Fabian Sandoval makes the first change. All the bodies brought up for the first corner in this half to LA. Curled out, Whitchurch scores! Juliana Whitchurch, his first goal in next pro in LAFC 2, lead 2-0. This is about as textbook of a corner kick goal as you can have. Curling out from Sebastian Nava with the towering 6'3" Juliana Whitchurch, gets over his man, heads it back across the frame of goal, and Whitchurch with his first to put LAFC up 2-0. Moments after taking the substitution, Fabian Sandoval's men get it done once again. And this is just about as worst case scenario if you are Eric Boucher. This is the second straight match where they've gone down 2-0. Technically good news for Rapids is that against both Houston and Tacoma, they did get a goal late, but to no avail. They lost both of those games 2-1. Maybe a chance for Colorado to at least get a little momentum on their side. Dakota holds up on Mahalic. Sebastian Nava credited with the assist once again on the Whitchurch goal. Kosakov back heels, Lambert a little slow on the play. Gotta appreciate the creativity of the soon-to-be 22-year-old Charlie Kosakov. His birthday is on August 10th, by the way, so he's closing in. few veterans on this team. Considering that against North Texas, Fabian Sandoval started 9 players under the age of 19, and he brought back some of the regulars for this match that have allowed a lot of control in this match. And 2 assists also allow Sebastian Nava to tie for the team lead in assists. DeCarlo Guerra and Nava both with 4 assists apiece. Kosakov up the gut, Kosakov the block. Corner again for LAFC. Nava with 2 assists, including the corner that just happened. Maybe another one on deck. Nava on the far end. Low. Mahalic sidesteps. Mahalic took a ricochet wide. Back-to-back corners. Last one went short to Mahalic. He does have that option, Nava, if he wants it. He takes it. Mahalic returned. Nava. Good block by De La Fuente to push it upfield. And even better by Kaplan to prevent Colorado from rolling. Outside, Dakota back in. Garcia halts back. And the spinorama try is well out of play, and this forces Eric Boucher to make a couple of subs with 20 minutes left. Jackson Pomeroy and Chris Aquino to take the place of Edgar Heredia and Rogelio Garcia. 70 minutes into this match. Jackson Pomeroy, this is only his 2nd ever match in MLS Next Pro. He made his debut back in April for the 17-year-old academy product for Chris Aquino. Was a part of the Mexican youth ranks with FC Juarez. Comes back to the U.S. after spending his first 3 pro seasons with Tacoma Defiance, where this is his 49th appearance in Next Pro. Into the box, Jamison couldn't get there. Nava cuts it off. And good job from LAFC to avert any danger from Colorado. Aquino tries from deep and just missed. A lot of gumption to try it from that far back, but with 14 Next Pro goals across 4 seasons, can't blame him. This portion of the match is brought to you by Toyota. Pomeroy steps up, links up with Aquino. LAFC regain control. Kosakov ahead for Machuca. Kosakov. Charlie Kosakov just misses. Kosakoff with another turnover. He's got Lambert on the near side. All the way back to Juliana Whitchurch, who scored the second goal of this match in the 65th. Inside 20 minutes to go in this match. Tommy Mahalic from Sebastian Nava on the 33rd. Juliana Whitchurch from Sebastian Nava on the 65th. Here's Mahalic on one, looking for another. Cross got tipped. Back outside for Colorado. And the aggressive tackle from Lambert will give him a yellow card. You have a couple changes ready on both ends of the field, and this is where they'll occur. So Charlie Kosakoff, his evening is done. He will have his spot replaced by Nathan Martiresco. We also saw Josh Copeland on the sideline as well for Colorado. And we even have the introduction of Eddie Vieda coming in for Machuca. Sebastian Siegler has been largely a non-factor, so this will bring on Josh Copeland, who will play in his first match at Next Pro since midway through June. It was a match on the 20th against the Timbers. You can already see Copeland making his way in like his hair's on fire. Top of the box, LAFC. Nava couldn't strike it. Whitchurch at least pushes it up. Copeland coughs it up as you have a man injured top of the box, much to LAFC's ire. Just had that little slide tackle at the top of the box. It appears to be Luis Garcia, the Colombian, who took that slide. Possibly a bit of a hard landing after the attempted slide. And this appears to be a drop ball given to LAFC with a quarter hour to go. LAFC will go back on the road with a little over a week of layoff, where they will go up the coast to Portland. That was a clear grab on the jersey of Nathan Martiresco. How was that not called? Like we mentioned for Colorado Rapids 2, their schedule closing up sooner than they probably would have hoped to expect. Their 21 matches played, by the way, are actually tied for the most in the Western Conference with Vancouver Whitecaps 2. They go back to Mile High to play against St. Louis. LAFC on the attacks, brings ahead from Halich. Pivots back, Santiago in the middle. Martaresco! Nathan Martaresco off the bench, on the board. He gets his second and LAFC's third. Martaresco just steps back to get away from the defender, Decoto. And for Martaresco, that's his first goal since his next pro debut at the end of March. March 28th, where he played 9 minutes against Vancouver. That was the entirety of his debut where he got his first goal and has his second as a pro for the Academy product. And that just about signs, seals, and delivers the 3 points to the 3-0 lead for LAFC. This is about as good as you can get if you are Fabian Sandoval. It's been quite a while since they won in regulation. They actually haven't won in regulation across any of their matches in the month of July. Go back to the final match in the month of June. The 28th, 3-1 against Houston Dynamo Dos. Part of a back-to-back where they also beat Minnesota the week prior to that. In the 4 games in July, it's been 3 games to penalties and a regulation loss, shut out by their rivals, Crosstown VCFC. And this could be momentous for LAFC, not just because they claimed the 3 points, but what type of momentum they could build against the Timbers 2 side that are trying to have similar aspirations to LAFC 2, potentially to host. But it will be Aquino to serve in the final 10. High arch, the header, top of the box, the strike is into the stands. Nice volley attempted, however. Couldn't get through center. Colorado are back in business. It would be essentially 2 full games for Colorado without scoring in the field of play if they continue to get shut out. Only 1 goal came against Tacoma on a penalty. So a couple of changes made for LAFC on the defensive end, where they want to really lock things down and preserve the scoreline they currently have. If you say that out loud, it will be cursed, so I will not do that. But this does allow for Travis Babineau and Luke Goodman to enter. Deep service, held in by Harper. Cross got ricocheted. Aquino. Jamison grappled. Nava couldn't sweep it out. And he and Mahalic were not on the same page there. This portion of the match is brought to you by Liquid IV, the official functional hydration partner of LAFC. And I'm sure with how much work LAFC have done, they're going to need quite a bit of it. Restoring those electrolytes, especially in what has been a relatively calm 76-degree day here in LA, but Southern Cal has been in a heat advisory, all things considered, so you never really know. So LAFC will head to Portland before they go back to Titan Stadium in Fullerton to host Tacoma and Sporting KC. Ooh, what a drop to keep it in. Eddie Vieta not only kept it in play, drew a yellow card in the process. What an excellent job by the former second-team Big West of UC Santa Barbara, Eddie Vieta. Forces De La Fuente to the book. Third goal, by the way, 78th minute. It was Martaresco, and the assist credit to Santiago, who just went to the bench, and Tommy Mahalic did get the secondary assist, but Martaresco's cross gets blocked back to him. Vieta couldn't control. Copeland gathers and draws the whistle. For the intents and purposes of Colorado Rapids 2. They go back to Denver to host St. Louis. And that will actually be at their first team stadium over at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Before they head to KC and hosting Real Monarchs and VCFC to round out their August schedule. And as we mentioned in the very beginning, the last time these two played, May the 4th of 2025, LAFC won that game 3-2, but this one much more decisive. And this will, if you include the penalties, 4 consecutive wins for LAFC over Rapids 2. That one was blown dead. Vieta could have played advantage, hypothetically there, but at this rate, we're grasping at straws. I'm sure this most certainly will be a pleasant sight for Fabian Sandoval, considering in the middle of July, they went back-to-back games without a goal. A scoreless draw against Portland before getting a shutout loss against VCFC. And he really talked about getting more dangerous in front of goal, getting those opportunities. They're a team that have been able to get a lot of opportunities, a lot of them on target, just not necessarily hitting the back of the net. But I'm sure they most certainly will be pleased with this performance. Mahalic, Lambert, clips it outside. Vieta back in the middle. Martaresco pretzeled up before that got sent towards center. So this will bring in 2 more changes for Eric Boucher in the last 3 and change. It will be Kai Thomas. 10 matches this season, over 100 plus between Rapids 2, Carolina Core, and FC Cincinnati 2. And Kamal Sawadogo, Academy product, 17 years old. First game this season without a start. Last played at the end of May. Mahalic cuts back. Doesn't release, eventually does, aiming for Vieta. Captain Bounds in the final 3+. You can really see how much Mahalic has been trying to embrace that leadership role, maybe making some of the unselfish plays, the extra pass, instead of taking the shot when he had the lane. Trying to get the other guys involved, but sometimes you just gotta let it fly, like to Martiresco before it's taken back towards Rinaldi. It doesn't matter, he was offside. What's really left for Colorado Rapids? Everything that's gone wrong in their season from Eric Boucher has just been mistakes on mistakes. For Fabian Sandoval, they've really grown into this season. They'll also have to do so likely on the back of Cabral Carter because Ethan Scally took that knock against North Texas last time out on a 50-50 ball, got hit on the head. Didn't even appear in the roster. Mark Gomez, who played with Valley 559 of UPSL to start the season, is the backup. Mahalic, top of the box, sidesteps, takes the try, took a clip, out of play for a corner. 4th of the half, 6th of the match. 90 seconds and change. LAFC very content and focused on the body of work and the efforts they've had. LA will just hold on. Vieta. Out of play from Lambert. Because Ventura County have absolutely shellacked North Texas, things will stay on par for those two. There will still be a 4-point gap between LAFC and VCFC, at least amongst each other. This will go back to the corner flag. I expect nothing more than some corner-related time wasting with Mahalic and Lambert there. That is not the right call, but vantage point does mean a lot, especially for this officiating crew. We saw that in the World Cup with the referee cam. And how Next Pro was actually a bit of a guinea pig for some of those new rules. 3 extra minutes added on. We're about halfway through the first. Whether if it was the 5-second goal kick or throw-in rule or the 1 minute on the sideline, if there was a trainer present. Lambert slithering through, try from deep, held off by Dowd. I'm sure some of these guys might have gotten a taste of what it's like to be with the first team in that preseason warm-up period to get back into the full swing of things. Small handful of games. All these second teamers to play with the first teamers before they return to MLS play earlier on in the month. Cameron double pumped, couldn't get through there. VCFC and LAFC, they hold par, 4 points separate them, but they do inch closer at least into the top 3. They're at least within reaching distance of the top 3 of Portland, Austin, and Houston. That took a glance back towards Carter as we're halfway through stoppage time. For LAFC, it's about catching VCFC to potentially host a playoff game. But at the very least, getting into the postseason could be of benefit, considering the only time they made the playoffs in Next Pro was in 2024. Vieta too strong for Lambert. It was Mahalic in the 33rd, Whitchurch in the 65th, and Martiresco in the 78th. Copeland sneaks through the defense, into the middle, blocked off. Jameson cuts back, nice block, and that allows Carter to bring it in. Final 30 seconds in a 3-0 lead so far for LA. It's just about riding out the final 20 seconds to make that result final for the home side. And what a way to do so in this new location at BMO Stadium. And with that being said, it's the full 3 for LAFC as they take this win at BMO 3-0 over Colorado Rapids 2. Our man of the match is presented by Adidas, and he didn't score either of the 2 goals, but he was the one to set them up. Sebastian Nava got assists both on the Mahalic goal to open it up, but it was really the service to Juliana Whitchurch on the back post in the 65th that really cemented Nava's status as our man of the match for today's matchup, where he took a tie in the team lead in assists for apiece. As we close things out here at BMO Stadium, don't forget to watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. We wrap things up here in downtown LA. LAFC 3, Colorado Rapids couldn't get on the board. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.